the team most of us want. The team most of us have.
Mistrust.
Discouraging.
Side meetings.
Stress.
Drudgery.
Stagnation. Siloing.
Do you look forward to being with your teammates? Do you go with a sense of anticipation and energy that you're going to be with people that you've grown to know and love, and you're going to be talking about things that matter, and you're going to change the world, and you get to be a part of that? And if the answer to that question is, not so much, you're losing something that we're not supposed to lose.
What makes teamwork so difficult?
The biggest problem with teams in our day is dealing with conflict. Particularly in churches, we do not tend to handle conflict well. Churches often suffer from what is sometimes called terminal niceness. And so conflict goes underground, people don't talk about it, they don't name it, they might talk about it to a third party but not directly. So to be able to engage in resolving conflict together in a way that makes us come out stronger rather than weaker in our relationships with each other is a huge need for churches.
Teamwork is one of the hardest things you'll ever do, but it's one of the most beneficial. And people will walk into a team just assuming that because we're a team, we're functioning.
I oversee 32 churches, and the one thing I believe is that they need training to be good teams. Because if they're not teams, the churches are suffering, the pastors are dragging, everything's just kind of declining.
What would happen if the congregation really knew I didn't know how to fix this? And the answer when you confess to I don't know how to fix it is, well, we'll just get a new pastor who does.
Imagine that you don't do anything about the problems that you're facing. Imagine going day after day where your work becomes a little less meaningful. Imagine going week after week where you have less and less joy in the office. Imagine going year after year and realizing we're not really reaching people for God.
When the team hits that point of crisis and they can't stand each other and they can't talk to each other, they really think that the Spirit has abandoned them. It's like God has disappeared. In my mind, no, this is actually the opportunity now where the Spirit can actually do the Spirit's best work.
Well, I've known David for a long time. The thing with David is he has a phenomenal gift of wisdom.
This really seems to be his sweet spot. It's incredible, really, the insight that he has into figuring out what you need, who you are, what your team needs, identifying problems.
David has a way of identifying it and naming it, but without making the temperature go up a lot. That's a huge gift. He's able to say it in ways that don't make people defensive. And that's really difficult, to be able to be really honest, to put a finger on, here's what's going on in this organization.
I have watched David walk into a dysfunctional team where the infighting and the avoidance was palpable. And honestly, at the end of a 2-day session, have people facing each other in agreement and moving in the same direction.
He also brings a unique perspective as the son of a pastor. He's seen his father go through all this, that questioning about his abilities, seen the church be cruel to a pastor. So he's seen that, and there's an empathy there you don't get just from the clinical couch. It's not just psychology, it's not just business practice. That's part of it. But there's this rich, deep faith part in it that ties it all together.
What is needed to become a great team?
It's a roadmap, A to Z, on how to have the team that you kind of always wanted, but probably gave up hope for.
You know, the Lencioni model is fabulous because it's really, really clear, it's really, really simple, but it is profoundly true.
The book you could read in one night. It's a story, it's a fable, it's a page turner.
It feels like it's a simple framework that you can get your head around and you feel like, I can do this. So there's hope in it.
As you go through each one of the dysfunctions and what is needed for it on the other side, every one of them, I just felt like, ouch, yep, that's exactly me. that avoidance of conflict, and then the need for a leader to be vulnerable, I have felt in spades.
You need some structure. You need a coach to come in and help you become the team that you need to be.
I don't think we would have ever made a correction without David. So I thought, oh, it's going to be one of those touchy-feely things. I really didn't want to go. But it was probably the most beneficial thing I've ever been through. You get a lot of aha moments of, that makes sense. Well, of course it's like this. And he just has such a concise, clear way of bringing that out.
Because people can wrap their heads around a way of being together and doing work or ministry, and they're energized by it. And then everyone wants to be on the team.
Our staff is dreaming for the first time in a long time about what that could mean for our church and for our community. It was hard, but I think our staff delved down to some places that we hadn't been before, together.
Now we're good with each other. Nobody's holding back anymore. Now let's figure out, where's this church going? What do we believe God has called us to be? And where has God called us to go?
What could ministry be like if your team came together?
It was really exciting to watch God work through the process, to see changed hearts and changed minds in the people on our session, to know that the people that I may not have really appreciated in the beginning ended up becoming my strongest supporters. David helped us to find the steps that would actually move us in the direction we needed to move.
I think we caught a few glimpses of what the future could look like together and what it might even take to get there, and that was really exciting. It was like a breath of fresh air.
I learned that no team is too far gone, that there is hope for that camaraderie and for that teamwork.
We have a blast. We're excited about looking at the future and casting vision and strategizing and doing all the tactical stuff that we need to do to be the team and accomplish the things that we feel God's called us to do.
And you have to decide, am I going to go for healing or am I going to go for status quo? And I had people in leadership who just wanted to do their little job and didn't want to face bigger issues. His personal involvement with us made us into the team that I'd always wanted. I can't tell you the incredible satisfaction, like, we made it. This is how a team's supposed to feel.
This was entirely more than I expected. This was more like sensing freedom together as a staff.
When I'm working on a team that works well together, that trusts each other, that has cohesion, it's the most incredible experience. It's exciting, it's fun. You just know that God is pleased.